the opening balance of cash balance is given, the closing balance of cash balance is given. Now we need to, using all the information, we need to identify or classify according to three activities. Inflow means the business are receiving. Outflow means the business is going to pay. The opening balance cash balance is 42,000 and the closing balance of cash balance is 35,000. You must remember at the time of last format is completed. Hello everyone, a warm welcome to one and all. I am Natesh, lecturer in commerce, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, MYSURU, the Temple of Excellence. We are in the Unit 3, Session 3, 4th semester B.Ba Management Accounting. The chapter name is Cash Flow Statement. Okay, and the last session which is completely related to the format. When there are two methods of cash flow, either we are using a direct method or indirect method. So we must remember there are three types of activities going on. One is operating related, which is completely focusing on the business, okay, so within the organization. So what and all, which is we are expecting a inflow and outflow. Inflow means which is coming inside, outflow means your money is going out of the business, okay. And apart from the next activity, which is the investment activity, once again I am recalling investment activity. When you are right to go for investing, your money is going out of the business, so no doubt which is an outflow. When you are receiving a money, no doubt from the investment, for example, you have any asset, okay, you are trying to sell, the same time you are receiving a cash, so which is coming inside. The last activity we call it as a financial related activity. To run a business, to run a company, you need finance, where you are raising a fund. Either you are talking related to joint stock company, no doubt the share related, with the help of share you can raise the fund. Either you are borrowing a loan from the financial institution, that is also coming inside, so we call it as a inflow. At the same time, whenever you try to go for redemption, okay, or repayment, bank loan repayment, the money is going from the business, which is called it as an outflow, okay. And today my agenda, cash flow statement problem. So if you are not watched the previous session, okay, so you need to watch, you will get more clarity about the format, okay. There are two types of format, indirect method and direct method. So here in this session, cash flow statement problems. The first one, there is something information related to the question. From the summarized cash account, CPS Limited, okay, one company. So prepare cash flow statement for the year ended 31st March 2017. Okay, either if they are giving 2 years, there is a different procedure, but it is 1 year only it is given. In accordance with the Indian Accounting Standard 7, using direct method and indirect method. Okay, so if what and all the item is there in the direct method and indirect method, you will get more clarity in the previous session, okay. So here the opening balance of cash balance is given, the closing balance of cash balance is given. Now we need to, using all the information, we need to identify or classify according to three activities. So first one, issue of equity shares. At the time of issuing equity shares, you are receiving cash, which is called it as a financial activity, okay. So under financial inflow, receipt from customer, any business with the intentions to sell the product for the customer based on the cash or credit, okay. So which is directly related to operating activity, no doubt which is coming under operating inflow, okay. We are receiving cash from the customer. Next, in case of credit sales, receipt expecting from the debtors, that is also coming under the operating inflow. Next, sale of fixed asset. You have an excess of asset when you are selling, okay. Before that you are trying to go for investing for the fixed asset. Acquiring a fixed asset, it's not so easy. So which is one kind of investment, right? So which is coming under the investment inflow, because you are selling, you are getting the cash. Coming to the payment of supplier. Payment of supplier, you at the time of starting a production, you are depending on materials from the supplier. Okay, obviously after getting the material from the supplier, you need to pay for them. Okay, so within the accounting period, the payment is going, that's what which is the operating outflow. operating outflow. Next, purchase of fixed asset, which is coming under, whenever you are purchasing any asset, no doubt which is coming under the investment outflow because money is going. Next one, overheads expense, which is directly related to operation. So that's what which is operating outflow. Next one, wages and salary, which is related to your business, which is also call it as operating outflow. Taxation, which is also of outflow. Dividend, which is nothing but whenever you are raising a equity share, you need to pay for them dividend. So which is a investment outflow. Okay, the repayment of a bank loan, no doubt which is coming because already you borrowed loan from the bank, so you are repaying, so which is coming under financial outflow. Okay, the last one is a balance. Okay, so there is additional informations are given. Net profit before tax for the year ended 2016 and 17 was rupees 2 lakhs, which is coming under the indirect method. Direct method it won't come, okay, directly, which is coming under the indirect method. So okay, you will get more clarity when you watch the previous session. And now there is a solution. What you need to do, we need to write the title using which method. So cash flow statement of CPS Limited for the year ended 31st March 2017. So using first method is called direct method, Indian Accounting Standard 7. So the first category, first activity which is starting from cash flow from operating activity. So again we need to identify which is inflow and which is outflow. Inflow means the business are receiving. Outflow means the business is going to pay. Okay, either inflow we call it as a receipt, outflow we call it as a payment, money is going. Okay, so first from the information from the question, cash received from customers, no doubt which is coming under the operating. So when I'm writing without bracket, that means which is an inflow. Okay, if I'm writing in bracket, so which is an outflow, you must remember. Okay, so after receiving a cash from the customers, I have written inflow because you are received. Okay, and cash payment to supplier, because the payment is going, money is going, so I want to write in the minus column. Now cash paid to wages and salary, business means there is number of committed expenditure. Obviously the 40,000 is money is going. Again the cash paid to overheads expense, other overheads expense. Okay, so which is also minus category. Okay, now last one, income tax, the money is going for the income tax department, so that is also minus category. Bracket if I specify minus, so the which sign is more. From the 11,20,000, if you subtract all this minus category, you are getting plus. Okay, the plus 1 lakhs you are getting, no doubt we call it as a from the heading operating activity. So net cash flow, net cash from operating activity, this heading. Okay, so once you completed operating activity, moving to the investment activity. So again we need to refer the question. So cash flow from the investment activity, where exactly you invested, how you are receiving, okay. So here the purchase of fixed asset, whenever you are purchasing fixed asset, the money is going. So no doubt which is coming under outflow category, 80,000 is a outflow, money is going. That's what I have written in the bracket. Okay, next one, proceed from sale of fixed asset. At the time of selling your asset, okay, third party, you are receiving a cash, so which is a plus inflow. Okay, so there is some adjustment. Which sign is more? Your negative sign is more. That's what I have written, minus 40,000. Okay, 40,000. So what we call it as net cash used in the investment activity. Moving for the financial activity, cash flow from the financial activity which is related to raise a finance okay, to pay the payment which is related to whenever you are involved financial instruments, okay. So here the proceed from issue of equity. Proceed from equity means what? It is kind of shares, it is a real owner of the company. So the company, this company, particular company, which is a joint stock company, so obviously they are raising a fund with the help of equity shares, so you are receiving, right? So which is the inflow, so that's what positive sign. So again, the payment of repayment of loan, bank loan you are paying, okay, the money is going from the business to bankers, okay, so which is an outflow. Now again, to raise the equity shares, you need to pay the dividend for the equity shareholders, so which is also outflow, okay. So which sign is more? So here minus sign is 1,40,000, plus sign is 1,20,000. So again we are getting a minus sign only, okay. So we call it as a net cash used from the financial activity, okay. Now all the three category we need to adjust, A plus B plus C, okay. So from the A we got plus 1 lakh, B we got 40,000. From the A category, operating activity 1 lakh, investment activity minus 40,000 means plus 60, plus 60. Again from the financial activity we got around minus 20. So the remaining value, which sign is more? The plus sign is only more. So 40,000 we are getting. So which is nothing but the positive means increase, okay, negative means decrease, which is a positive sign after adjusting a three activity. So we are getting an increase. So whatever you are getting a increase or decrease, so now we need to add for the opening cash available in the company. So the date is clearly specified in the debit side. Opening balance, opening is given 20,000. If you try to add 40 plus 20, so end of the year we are getting the cash at the end, 31st March 2017, 60,000, okay. In the question it is clearly specified the closing balance is 60,000, opening balance is 20,000, okay. So moving for the next method, under cash flow statement of CPS Limited for the year ended 31st March 2070 under indirect method. I just now told at the time of preparing indirect method, the operating activity is going too lengthy. So we need to adjust properly. So you need to identify. So first one, cash flow from operating activity, net profit, additional information is given. So we don't want to depend on the net profit before tax. We need after tax, right? So that's what we are try to adjust here. The net profit is 2 lakh. Income tax is paid. We need to adjust for this. Okay, after tax means we need to adjust. So here the income tax is given, the information is given 1 lakh. So if you try to subtract, you are getting a positive. Okay, so for the positive 1 lakh. So we call it as a net cash flow from operating activity 1 lakh. So again, cash flow from the investment activity the same. Okay, whatever you followed under direct method, the same thing. So here purchase of fixed asset for cash 80,000, money is going, and at the time of sales you are receiving 40,000. Which sign is more? Negative sign is more. Okay, minus sign is outflow means minus sign is more. So we call it as a net cash used from the investment activity. Moving for the financial activity, the same item, whatever came in the direct method, the same item, issue of equity shares, and repayment of bank loan is money is going because the negative, okay, money is going, and even the dividend also you paid, which is also negative. So after adjusting we are getting a minus sign 20, okay, minus 20. So we call it as a net cash used to financial activity. So now we need to take together A category, B category and C category. So if you take the together, so either you are getting a positive means we call it as a increase, if it is negative, decrease. Okay, so after adjusting then also we are getting a positive. That's what I have written here, net increase in the cash. Okay, so again opening cash, whatever it is given in the question, we need to add cash at the opening, the date also clearly given 20,000. After adding the closing balance, the same thing you are getting tally. Okay, so moving for the next question, Here the question, the from the following summarized cash flow, Greenway Limited prepare cash flow statement as per Indian accounting standard under direct method only. Okay, in the question it is clearly, transparently clear. The opening balance, cash balance is 42,000 and the closing balance of cash balance is 35,000. You must remember at the time of last format is completed. Okay, so again receipt from customers, which is coming under operation from the inflow, issue of shares which is coming under financial activity inflow, sale of plant which is going for the investment inflow, interest on investment, cash sales, okay, and the payment of supplier, machinery. So what and all item we need to identify properly. So the cash sales, even the machinery purchase, wages and salary, rent and tax, dividend paid, income tax paid, interest on debenture, okay, bank loan repayment, money is going which is related to financial, and cash purchase, okay, at the time of purchasing a material, immediate the cash is going outflow, okay. So moving for the under direct method. So from the first category, cash flow from the operating activity, so we need to identify inflow means without bracket, outflow means with bracket. Okay, so cash sales is given in the question which is coming under the inflow, so that's what positive sign. And receipt from customer, again which is also positive. I told you clearly, so there are two mode of transactions, cash sales or credit transaction. Okay, you are receiving from the customer, which is also, and even you are purchasing a material from the supplier, the money is cash is going for the supplier, so which is a cash purchase, money is going, that's what negative, which is an outflow. And the payment to supplier, then also you need to pay any amounts or excess amount if you want to pay. Okay, any credit balance is there means you need to pay, so that is also coming under the negative. And the wages and salary which is related to operating activity, money is going, that's what negative. And the rent and tax which is coming under the payment side, so no doubt which is an outflow. After adjusting which sign you are getting more, you are getting positive sign. Okay, so we call it as a cash from operation, just we call it as a cash from operation, because there is a income tax is one item is given, so we need to subtract, so then only we will get a net cash flow from operating activity. After subtracting income tax 60,000, the difference positive 72,000, we call it as a net cash flow from operating activity. So moving for the next activity, so which is cash flow from the investment activity, we will focus only for the investment related. Okay, the first one, how your cash is going, why it is going, you need to identify. Because the machine purchase, money is going, okay, the cash is going, negative sign 1 lakh. And the sale of plant, you have an excess plant, you are selling, the same time you are receiving a cash, so which is a positive 32,000. Again, the interest on investment is coming under the investment category, no doubt, so which is clearly specified. Interest on investment received means incoming, okay, so inflow. After adjusting which sign is more, negative sign is more, so I have written negative minus 50,000. So we need to adjust according to whatever. After adjusting, we will call it as a cash used for the investment activity. Moving for the financial activity, so the financial activity, again we identify, we raise equity, dividend paid, okay, the dividend paid is money is going, which is negative outflow. And the interest on debenture paid, interest debenture paid they specified, so that's what which is the money is going. And the repayment of bank loan, you already borrowed loan means actually which is there in your business, again you have to repay, right, so which is also negative, okay, in outflow. And the last one, proceed from issue of shares, because of shares only we are trying to pay for the dividend, there is a relation, okay. So here proceed from the issue of shares, at the time of issuing shares, you are receiving cash which is a positive sign 1,50,000, okay. So because of issuing a shares, you are paying a dividend. So where exactly positive or negative you are getting a negative balance here. So we call it as a cash used for the financial activity. Now we will take for the three category, operating activity, investment activity, operating activity A, investment activity B, last one is a financial activity C. If you try to adjust from the operations, we got 1,32,000. From the investment, we need to subtract, okay, 82,000 we are getting. Again, from the financial activity, 29,000 if you subtract, the difference 7,000 we are getting, which is a net increase in the cash flow. Now, in the question which is clearly given opening balance of cash balance available, 42,000. If you try to adjust which sign is more, positive sign is more. So after subtracting, we are getting 35,000. So which is a cash balance at the end of the time. So here the dividend paid and interest on debenture paid to treated as a financial activity. So you can recall one more time here. Keep on watch for next section. Thank you.